Hello there, this is Captain Obvious, and you are watching the Over 100k Population, episode 14 of our Let's Play series, Organic Road Layout. This Vanilla City is currently at 90k population, and our traffic flow is holding at 92%. And by the end of this episode, we will exceed over 100k population with the use of more monuments. But will our city start to collapse, or will it maintain and thrive at over 100k population? Let's find out. The second monument that you'd want to build after the fusion power plant is the Castle of Lord Chirpwick. And the timing of when to place on the castle is when you're experiencing a death wave, because constructing the Castle of Lord Chirpwick has a global entertainment value of 100, and it increases the attractiveness of all unique buildings by 25%. So that means there will be more tourists flooding your city. I have already constructed the required buildings for this monument, and now we just need to find a permanent home for the castle. And atop this hill looks like the perfect spot overlooking this city. So notice how this will suddenly drop. And the third monument that you'd want to build is the space elevator, which transports more tourists, which is a great combination with your Castle of Lord Chirpwick. However, or actually, but instead of having the right timing of constructing the space elevator, it is much more important on having the right location. So this monument will go perfectly right here. Also, I have constructed all the required buildings, so that is why it is available. I will place it right here, which is close by to a nearby station. So on the right we have the elevated metro station, and on the left is the monorail and train station. So as the tourists emerge out, they can take these stations to travel throughout your entire city, and it also reduces the amount of pocket cars that will emerge from the space elevator. Also, I have combined the city park, which should increase our income significantly. So right now we are just earning 10, and by the end of this episode we will check back on how much this elevator is spending or earning. And that is how you use this monument. We currently have residential demands, but the global effect of the Castle of Lord Chilperic will assist in leveling up our residential zones, so it is not necessary to zone more residential. Instead, we will work on a road layout in our final tile. But when there is a death wave, that is the right time to start zoning residential. It will counter the death wave. So until then, we will continue decorating our city, and from time to time, we will zone when necessary. This hub has two monorail lines, and we are finally going to connect the unused line going to the airport. We are reducing the pocket cars from tourists by adding this monorail station in front of the international airport, and this monorail will also continue going to the island. When constructing your road network, do not forget to plan where your garbage facilities will be. My suggestion is to place the garbage at the corner or edge of the map for minimum exposure to the rest of the city. You can also zone some dirty industry with your garbage to help provide goods for your commercial buildings. This Weave Highway exit will be the very last interchange built for this city. The weave will be slightly crooked, but it will still blend nicely with the overall organic theme of the city. When I initially recorded the construction of this interchange, I missed to change some of the roads to the proper direction. But do not panic. I was eventually able to discover my blunder and was able to correct my error. Eventually. I did say eventually, right? Wait, what? Did that car just do a U-turn? And I totally didn't see it because I was too busy fighting global warming by planting digital trees. Alright, here we go. I fixed it and we'll just leave it here for a few seconds to make sure that the cars are behaving properly. It's the driver's fault, not the road, and definitely not the mayor or the player of the game's fault. It is always the driver's fault. Here, I'm going to prepare our monorail track to travel over the river and onto the island. This will be an independent island where the only way in or out is by monorail or helicopter. The Tier 2 mode of transportation we will have that will support the international airport is a tram track. We will have multiple tram tracks between the airport, second campus, and zoo area. Because the area is just too large for a bus, so a tram is the right choice for our Tier 2 mode of transportation. And of course, these Tier 2 stations will lead directly to the Tier 1 stations, which are the monorail lines. Now that we have our road network in place, we will now add the standard district services. And we will also place down any unique buildings that would look appropriate for the layout. Instead of watching the buildings construct, I will fast forward to save some time. First, notice the before shot when it's just a road network. Then after when all the buildings have constructed. When the buildings have constructed, we may now proceed with decorating the empty spaces by adding parks and more tree planting. While we watch the tree planting, I would like to take the opportunity to thank everyone for being here. If you started watching from the very beginning of our Let's Play series, I am immensely grateful for you sticking around and watching to the very end of the series. However, I have one final episode left, and that is to fill in the island at the corner. And for everyone else who just joined the party, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you're enjoying the build so far. So as mentioned, this is a build series, so if you want to see how the city started, there is a playlist in this channel where you can follow the incredible journey, which includes all the tips and guides on how the city started, how I managed to prepare this incredible bank with a positive weekly income, and the ever popular how I was able to manage an above 90% traffic flow from zero to the now over 100k population. I also want to thank my viewers who have witnessed me build the city live and all my other cities. So if you're interested in watching me play live, the links are in the description. However, I do not have a fixed schedule because it's rather difficult to balance real-life responsibilities with making online content and live streaming. It is truly exhausting. Nevertheless, I am so thrilled that I was able to record and upload my very first Let's Play series, which is now forever in YouTube. Whenever I stream live, I'd get comments asking if I have my gameplay on YouTube because there is so much useful information that should be stored and shared. So here we are, eventually we are on YouTube. I should have done this sooner, and that's why I appreciate everyone's comments and opinions. So please do comment down below. Not only does it help the channel, but it also helps me figure out what direction to take my City Skylines content. Not to mention that I also have a Discord channel, links in the description, where I do my best to provide advice with my viewers' city issues such as traffic and whatnot. It doesn't necessarily have to be just about traffic, yet traffic is the most popular question. And here we are at the bank of the river where I was debating with myself if I should add more fishing harbors or perhaps a ferry line that would go across to the island. But eventually I was undecided. But perhaps in the next series, I will let my viewers decide on what should be built in the next episode. That is an awesome idea and also quite challenging. This city nearly has every transportation or vehicle in the game. From the sea, we got fishing ships, cruise ships, ferries, and on land, we got trains, automobiles, monorails, buses, trams, metro, and in the air, we got planes, hot air balloons, and even a rocket. So the two remaining aerial vehicles that we don't have are blimps and helicopters. So to wrap up the transportation collection of this Vanilla City, we will add blimps and helicopters, and they will both be efficient without the risk of having too many passengers waiting at stops or have a ridiculous queue where it'll start to look like a blimp invasion. In fact, we will just keep it down to 4 blimps and 4 helicopters that will travel from one corner of the map to the other, and the stops will not have hundreds or thousands of passengers waiting. First, we'll work with blimps, and I'm going to place down our blimp depot. This is where all the blimps emerge, and we are going to place our first blimp stop where our monorail station is. Of course, this also works if it's a train or metro station. Then I'm going to follow the metro station on its next stop, and that's where I'll place the succeeding blimp stops. So in this way, majority of the passengers will opt to use the monorail stations instead of the blimp stops. So that's one part of the trick on having less passengers on your blimp or helicopter stops. So the second trick is to use a ridiculous long and winding route for your blimp or helicopter stops. So this beats the entire notion of having the quickest path from point A to point B is a straight line. But the thing is, we are using blimps and helicopters for sightseeing and not an efficient means of travel. Therefore, a straight route is not necessary. That's what the monorail stations are for. Some may disagree with this method, but overall, we have managed to find a decent way to use blimps and helicopters, and now this city has managed to have every mode of transportation in the game. Here, I'm adding the helicopter depot because this international airport from the Sunset Harbor DOC comes with 2 helipads, and we have to use at least one of those helipads. This will be the only helicopter route that we'll have in our city that will travel from the airport to the island nearby. And again, instead of going in a straight line from the airport to the island, we will create a scenic route that will travel to the heart of the city and all the way back. Always remember not to use the helicopter or blimp routes as an efficient means of travel. Instead, use them as a scenic route to oversee the city. So basically, it's like a hot air balloon where you can control its direction. And there we have it. The last piece to fill in to complete this city is this island, which I can make multiple versions of. Where, for example, we could have a version where this island has a nature reserve, and another version could have a casino, and the entire island will have leisure buildings. The possibilities are endless. But before we go, let's take a check on the stats of our city. First, let's check out the space elevator. It has over 1,000 passengers in the week. That is incredible, and as a result, our park is earning over 40,000 per week and also has about the same over 1,000 visitors. But more importantly, there's a minimum number of pocket cars that emerge, so therefore our traffic in this area is still pretty good. It is green. And the next thing that we want to check is our blimps. We are gonna skip the helicopters because the island is empty, therefore I'm not expecting any passengers there. And some of the blimps are full, and there's not a lot of people waiting, and we only have 4 blimps, so that is fantastic. That's exactly what you want to see in a blimp line. And now let's check the rest. So we have 110k population. Our traffic flow is at 91%. We ticked down one, but that's still okay considering that we have over 100k population. So that's still respectable considering that this is a vanilla city with no mods or Steam assets. So all the console players out there, everything you see here is completely possible. Okay guys, thank you for watching. This is Captain Obvious and I hope to see you in the season finale.